Every legend begins with something that refuses to be ordinary. A machine that pushes its limits until the rules themselves have to change. Some rise through dominance, others through defiance, and a rare few through a perfect storm of technology, timing, and attitude. This is the story of one such creation, a car that started as a purpose-built racer and ended up a pop culture icon. Its sound, its shape, and its scarcity turned it from a motorsport weapon into a digital era myth. But behind that status lies a fascinating question. What happens when engineering ambition outpaces the rulebook? Today, we peel back the layers of controversy, craftsmanship, and legacy surrounding a German-built track machine that conquered circuits, vanished under pressure, and then roared back through millions of game consoles. If you enjoy stories where engineering meets emotion and regulation meets rebellion, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment which automotive legend we should explore next. In 2001, BMW unveiled the M3 GTR E46, a machine unlike anything the company had fielded before. Built not for showrooms but for domination in the American Le Mans series, it represented the most extreme interpretation of what the M division could create under the rules of the time. To understand why the M3 GTR existed, we have to look at the early 2000s landscape of endurance racing. BMW had strong success with its straight-six engines, but rivals were bringing larger, lighter, and more powerful cars to the grid. The existing M3 could not keep up in its production-based form, and the rules offered a window for creative engineering. Homologation regulations required a car to be derived from a road-going model, but did not specify how many had to be built. BMW seized this opening. The M3 GTR E46 was born around a new heart, a 4.0-liter P60B 40 V8, a compact, naturally aspirated unit delivering around 450 horsepower in race trim. It was a radical shift from the brand's inline-six tradition. The new engine revved freely, had a distinctive metallic note, and was paired with a stripped, lightweight chassis designed to handle long hours of punishing competition. Aluminum, carbon fiber, and advanced aerodynamics came together to craft a weapon for the track. The car's wide stance and aggressive bodywork hinted at its purpose. Engineers focused on reducing drag and improving cooling, as the endurance races in the US could stretch for hours in brutal heat. On track, the M3 GTR E46 stunned spectators. From its first outings, it became clear that this was no evolutionary step. It was a leap. In the 2001 ALMS season, it went head-to-head with more established competitors, including one from another manufacturer that had long dominated the GT class. Once BMW sorted out initial reliability issues, the GTR began to win. It took multiple victories, including at Road Atlanta and Laguna Seca, and ultimately secured both the manufacturer and team championships in its debut season. For a car that had entered mid-year, that performance was unheard of. But success came with suspicion. The paddock began questioning how BMW had produced a road car version of the M3 GTR. Homologation required the model to exist for sale to the public, yet few could point to one outside BMW's facilities. Rumors swirled that only a handful of road-going units had been built, perhaps as few as 6 to 10, each costing several $100,000. These cars featured the same 4.0-liter V8 but were tuned for street use, and reports suggested they were not offered through normal retail channels. Whether it met the spirit of the rules became a heated debate among competitors and organizers. The situation exposed a fundamental tension in motorsport: innovation versus fairness. BMW's engineers had followed the letter of the law, but many felt they had broken its intent. The governing body responded by tightening the regulations for 2002, requiring a minimum production number of street-legal cars that BMW had no interest in manufacturing. Faced with this new requirement, the M3 GTR program was withdrawn. Its reign on the track lasted just one season, but its impact was seismic. Even though the BMW M3 GTR E46 vanished from the grid, it left behind a blueprint for how far technical creativity could go within vague rules. The car's limited road versions became instant rarities, each representing the ultimate expression of the E46 chassis. These were not comfortable grand tourers but raw, uncompromising machines built to satisfy paperwork. Lightweight panels, reduced sound insulation, and an aggressive aero package made them closer to race cars with license plates. For BMW, the GTR was both a triumph and a cautionary tale. dominance achieved too quickly can bring as much scrutiny as praise. As time passed, the M3 GTR E46 began to take on an aura of myth. Few had seen it in person. Fewer had driven it. But images of its striking white and blue livery circulated among fans and journalists, feeding its reputation. It became the car that was too good for its own good. A machine that beat the system until the system rewrote itself. That story, of speed, controversy, and disappearance, was already enough to make it memorable. Yet fate had another stage waiting, one that would carry the GTR's legend far beyond the world of motorsport. After its short-lived reign on the racetrack, the BMW M3 GTR E46 could have faded into obscurity. Yet its story was only halfway written. When it disappeared from competition, it resurfaced in an unexpected place: the world of video games. In 2005, the M3 GTR E46 was digitally reborn as the hero car in Need for Speed: Most Wanted. The game's opening moments featured the silver coupe with its bold blue stripes, a car that symbolized defiance, freedom, and untouchable speed. Overnight, millions of players who had never watched an American Le Mans race suddenly knew exactly what the M3 GTR was, even if they had no idea it had ever existed in real life. This transformation from racing prototype to pop culture icon was remarkable. The real M3 GTR E46 had been an engineering statement. In digital form, it became a fantasy object, a symbol of aspiration. Players could live out what was impossible in reality. Owning and driving a car that was never truly available to the public. The model's appearance in the game gave it a second life far more enduring than its original purpose. That striking combination of metallic silver paint, asymmetrical blue graphics, and the wide, muscular body gave it instant recognition. For a generation, it became shorthand for performance and style. The BMW M3 GTR E46 represented a perfect storm of timing. In the mid-2000s, gaming was expanding rapidly, and automotive enthusiasts were connecting through online communities. Screensavers, posters, and fan art immortalized the car's in-game design. It was no longer just a product of motorsport engineering. It was a cultural symbol bridging two worlds, one of real racing excellence and one of digital escapism. Few cars, even those with much longer careers, have achieved such recognition. For BMW, the irony was striking. The M3 GTR E46 had been withdrawn from competition due to regulatory pressure. Yet through gaming, it became the most widely recognized M3 variant ever made. Its name appeared across forums, tuning discussions, and social media groups. Fans dissected every detail, from its engine layout to the distinctive hood vents. In real life, those features had been designed for airflow and heat management during endurance racing. In gaming, they became visual icons of aggression and purpose. Collectors and historians began to trace the lineage of the few real M3 GTR E46 road cars. Each one represented a physical link to what had become a digital legend. Museums and private owners preserved them carefully, knowing their significance was no longer just technical but emotional. The scarcity amplified the allure. Seeing one in person was like meeting a myth made real. The M3 GTR E46's resurgence through gaming also shifted perceptions of what defines automotive success. Some machines earn their reputation through victories, others through availability or technological breakthroughs. The GTR achieved it through cultural imprinting. It showed that legacy can emerge from storytelling as much as from competition. Its sound, its silhouette, and even its game-rendered reflections became part of collective memory. This interplay between reality and representation transformed how fans connected with cars. The BMW M3 GTR E46 taught enthusiasts that a vehicle's emotional power can transcend its production numbers or racing record. It also hinted at a larger truth about motorsport, that innovation often lives at the edges of regulation, where creativity meets controversy. Those who saw the car compete remember its raw presence. Those who met it through screens remember how it made them feel. Both perspectives are equally real. The bridge between physical performance and virtual fantasy solidified the GTR's identity as more than a machine. It became a narrative, one of rebellion, precision, and beauty. As it roared through digital streets, it carried with it the DNA of the real-world racer that once redefined an entire category. The M3 GTR E46 showed that icons can emerge from any arena, so long as they leave an imprint strong enough to outlive their original purpose. That is what turned a short-lived competition car into one of the most recognizable automotive legends of the 21st century. The BMW M3 GTR E46's influence did not end with nostalgia or fandom. It evolved into a lasting blueprint for what a modern performance car could represent. After its racing and gaming fame, the GTR became a symbol of purity and purpose within automotive engineering. Every line, vent, and panel was there for a reason, not for styling trends or marketing checklists. When enthusiasts speak about drivers' cars, they often refer to the balance and feedback of the E46 generation, but the GTR stood even higher in that hierarchy. It was the unfiltered form of the concept, stripped of compromise. In racing history, the M3 GTR E46 now represents both the peak and the limit of regulatory freedom. Its story changed how governing bodies defined road relevance in competition cars. The lessons learned from that season influenced future homologation rules, shaping how brands would approach motorsport programs. Engineers recognized that boundaries had to exist, not to stifle innovation but to keep competition equitable. Yet the GTR's brilliance proved that pushing right up to those limits is often where greatness happens. The fine line between compliance and creativity became the frontier of performance engineering. In production car culture, the GTR's legend inspired a wave of limited edition performance models. Manufacturers learned that scarcity and authenticity could amplify desirability more than sheer numbers ever could. For BMW enthusiasts, the M3 GTR E46 became the ultimate collectible, a car that marked the moment when motorsport ambition collided with regulatory reality. Its combination of high-revving power, balanced chassis dynamics, and unmistakable aesthetics created an ideal that subsequent M models have tried to echo. Every generation since carries traces of the GTR's DNA in its pursuit of sharper handling and deeper emotional connection. The M3 GTR E46 also left a mark on how digital media shapes perception. In the years after its debut, the boundary between real and virtual performance blurred further. Simulation racing, virtual reality, and online showcases began to define how people experienced cars. Yet few digital stars have achieved the enduring recognition of the GTR. It remains one of the most downloaded and recreated models in simulation libraries and fan projects. Its representation continues to connect players with an era of engineering that prioritized mechanical purity over complexity. The car's simplicity became timeless. At its core, the BMW M3 GTR E46 stands as proof that authenticity resonates. It was not built for mass appeal or convenience. It was designed to win, then briefly to satisfy paperwork. That honesty gave it a soul. Its V8 engine, a rarity in the M3 lineage, became a symbol of technical audacity. The road version's rawness, manual transmission, stripped interior, unfiltered response, remains the kind of purity that modern performance cars struggle to replicate amid emissions controls and electronic management. Enthusiasts look back at it not only with admiration but with longing, a reminder of when rules were just flexible enough to let passion lead. In the broader narrative of automotive evolution, the M3 GTR E46 illustrates the eternal tension between innovation and regulation, between idealism and reality. It showed that greatness often comes from limitation. When engineers are forced to interpret the rules creatively, breakthroughs emerge. Its short competitive life was not a failure but a concentrated success, compressed into a single defining season. That brevity amplified its mystique. The fewer the appearances, the stronger the impact. For BMW, the legacy of the M3 GTR E46 still informs how the brand approaches performance projects. It stands as a benchmark of engineering courage, a moment when the company dared to challenge conventions and succeeded, even if only for a season. Modern BMW M cars continue to reference its philosophy: race-born technology, precise handling, and emotional connection to the driver. Even with hybridization and electrification on the horizon, the principles the GTR embodied remain central to what defines an M car. Beyond its technical and cultural footprint, the M3 GTR E46 also represents a shift in how enthusiasts define legend. No longer does it require decades of competition or mass production. A car can achieve immortality through influence, emotion, and the stories told around it. The GTR achieved this trifecta. It captured the imagination of racers, gamers, and engineers alike. Its existence reminds us that legends are often brief, but their echoes can last for generations. The story of the BMW M3 GTR E46 closes not with an ending but with a reflection of possibility. It proved that even a single-season car can rewrite expectations. It demonstrated that technology, passion, and narrative combined can make machinery unforgettable. Its image on screen and its roar on track fused into one of the most enduring symbols of performance ever created. That dual identity, half mechanical marvel, half cultural myth, is what keeps it alive today, long after its engine fell silent. The BMW M3 GTR E46 remains one of the most fascinating paradoxes in modern automotive history. A machine designed for a single purpose that ended up defining an entire generation of car culture. Its story began with ambition, veered into controversy, and settled into legend. Few vehicles have crossed as many boundaries: racing, regulation, and recreation, while remaining unmistakably true to their original intent. The GTR was never about compromise. It was about what could be achieved when engineers were given freedom and focus, even for a fleeting moment. Looking back, it is clear that the M3 GTR E46 represents a bridge between eras. It stands at the intersection of analog precision and digital immortality. On the track, it showcased the last gasp of pure mechanical innovation before aerodynamics and electronics began to dominate. In gaming, it became a symbol of speed that transcended realism and entered fantasy. That dual existence gave it a reach few supercars or race cars could match. It turned mechanical performance into emotional memory, and that memory became its power. The real-world legacy of the BMW M3 GTR E46 endures through influence. The lessons from its construction continue to echo through BMW's engineering teams. Lightweight materials, naturally aspirated engines, and structural rigidity remain core values derived from that project. Even as the industry moves toward electrification, the principles embodied by the GTR, balance, precision, feedback, remain timeless. It is a car that engineers still reference when discussing the essence of driver connection. Its cultural impact also continues to evolve. Every new racing simulator or nostalgic video compilation that features the M3 GTR E46 introduces it to new audiences. Younger fans who were not alive during its racing debut still recognize it instantly. The car's sound, shape, and presence have become part of automotive language, a visual shorthand for performance and individuality. It is now less a car and more an idea, a statement that rules can be bent, excellence can be fleeting, and legend can outlast logic. For collectors, the handful of existing road-legal M3 GTRs are more than vehicles. They are artifacts. Each one carries a piece of the era that allowed such freedom. Their value lies not only in rarity, but in meaning. They remind us that automotive greatness is not measured by production numbers, but by how deeply a machine connects to human imagination. Seeing one in person is like witnessing a living contradiction. Brutal efficiency paired with artistic precision. The M3 GTR E46's endurance also redefines success in motorsport. It proved that dominance does not require longevity. It requires impact. One season was enough to make history, and that brevity gave it the weight of legend. When rules closed its window of opportunity, it had already left its mark. Its victories were etched not only in record books but in hearts. The car became proof that innovation, when executed with conviction, can leave ripples far beyond its moment. Ultimately, the BMW M3 GTR E46 stands as both warning and inspiration. It warns of how regulation can limit creativity, yet inspires by showing what can happen when boundaries are briefly lifted. It demonstrates that greatness is not about perfection but about purpose. Every bolt, every rev, every line on its body tells a story of intention. That is why, more than 2 decades later, enthusiasts still speak its name with awe. The legend of the M3 GTR E46 endures not because of nostalgia, but because it embodies values that never fade: ambition, craftsmanship, and courage. It was a car built to prove a point, and it did, too well. Though it raced for only a short time, its spirit continues to influence how we dream about cars today. The sound of that high-revving V8, the stance of that wide body, and the confidence of that design remain timeless symbols of what it means to chase perfection. That pursuit, as the M3 GTR E46 proved, is what makes legends eternal.